U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
What's going on? What's going on?
Well, today is going to be the most important stream I've ever done, first of all. Wow. And I want to say thank you for doing this, seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If this is
everyone thought this was going to be fake today, but we proved them wrong. So.
Right in the living room of Mar-a-Lago, which I don't allow.
See, you can't hear you.
You're the first, just about.
Thank you.
And we'll have a little fun today. And my son Baron says hello. He's a great young guy, but he's a big fan of yours.
What's up, Baron? Yeah, Baron's awesome. He's a great kid. Amazing. He's tall, very tall.
Good student.
Yeah, he's very smart. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yes.
I do want to first off, say this. Everyone in the chat, everyone in this room, everyone loves you, and I just want to say you're a true hero for this country, and I really appreciate you. And I'm really thrilled we can do this today.
I'm so happy now that I'm doing it. give me it. That's great.
I
can't hear you, Trump.
Live streaming is on these platforms.
More or less, yeah.
It's
the new wave.
It's the new wave. I'm gonna explain it to you, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna show you this chat right now. Let me show you this. So this is the live chat. Right. So you already broke the website in 5 minutes. Oh, really? Yeah, you broke it. The chat wasn't working. But we ended up fixing it. It's just very slow. Everyone in the chat say hello. You guys can put hi in the chat, and W's mean it's good. W means win. Yeah. Yep. So they're putting W's and stuff. Yep. W Trump. All right. So yeah, everyone is just super thrilled.
You're gonna have big ratings today. I can see it.
Yeah, I want to break 1 million. I think we could do it.
Oh, good. Oh, you'll do much more.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Elon actually already
this is something
commented on the X post.
Do you like how he literally like?
Yeah, he's great.
Who the fuck are these people in the back? Well, I love the old lady in the corner, right? So Trump needed a posse to come with him, I guess, right? Because it's being done at Mar-a-Lago, right? But like, they didn't did they flip the switch to turn on Trump's microphone? Because he's got a lav. He has a lav and it's off. And a proper fucking microphone. Both off. Both of them aren't working. Because Aiden's team has got to be like fuckheads. They're all idiots. They have to be.
Fantastic person. Little imagination he's got, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Rockets and tunnels. And everything. He's a fantastic.
You can hear the audio fucking up because they're trying to balance it.
He's great. So let's get started today. Let's have some fun.
Let's go.
We'll touch base on some topics.
Well, they don't have a balancer. It's probably automated to balance.
All right. Well, the first thing is the reason why I really want to make this stream happen is because there's a lot of people that are first-time voters watching today. And I want to make it very clear to everybody that you're a human being. You're a great human being. And I want you to basically talk in this camera, talk to them and explain why it's very important as a first-time voter to go out and vote and why they should vote for you.
I'd love to do that, and I love having a young audience. This is young. I think you have some oldsters too, because I also know some oldsters that are listening and watching. But it's about the American dream. Right now, you don't have the American dream. We have a country that's not respected, a country that's being laughed at, a country that just a little while ago we're having a stock market explosion in a negative way as opposed to a positive way. And that's been happening for quite a while. It's been simmering and really happening for quite a while. And we're going to make this country so strong and so great. And when you're ready for your job, you're going to get a great job, so you can make the kind of money this guy's making, maybe even more if that's possible. Right?
I'm trying to be like you, boss.
But you'll love your life and you'll be successful.
To you, Aiden.
And at a young age, it's really wonderful to think about the American dream. And with Kamala and Joe, I took him out. He was we had a debate, and the debate didn't go so well for him. And they sort of what they did was really a coup.
White people.
14 million votes. He had it. And all of a sudden they went to him. And
but what's funny is the people who are not white are the ones that are in the shadow already. So they don't.
All of a sudden you're fighting somebody else, but she's actually worse than he is. And also, you're starting to see that. I think people are going to see that. It's going to be very evident.
You know what I'm saying?
Go out. We want the American dream. We're going to give you the American dream, and you're going to be real happy. Thank you.
I have another question. And again, Mr. President, I'm not really fully into politics, but I'm getting there. And I do want to make this very clear as well. Now it's on my mind. Back when I was I went to high school in California. Okay? And a lot of the teachers were basically at the time, this is your first term. They were telling me how horrible a person you are and all these things. And the teachers, you're not supposed to do that. It's inappropriate to have teachers, discuss politics in school. But it's becoming really normal for a lot of teachers. And you're a kid. When you're a kid, your brain is like a sponge.
That's true.
So I want to know what your thoughts on that. Kind of the corruption in the school system in a way. They're teaching some pretty bad stuff in there.
It's been brainwashed to a certain extent. Even the teachers have been brainwashed. They've learned from a long time. This is long before me.
What is it? Why is the mic broken again? He already pointed the mic at Trump.
Wow. But this liberal way that they have, and it's a bad thing for the country. We want to have borders. We want to have low taxes. We want to have great schools, really, great schools so you can go and learn and be successful and have a wonderful life and all of that. But we want to have a good military so we can protect ourselves,
of course,
from some bad players. You got some bad players out there. And, it's interesting. During my 4 years, we had no war. We had nothing. Everybody was afraid we're going to have wars. And just the opposite. North Korea, I remember Barack Obama was telling me, oh, the biggest problem we have is North Korea. I didn't have a problem with North Korea.
No.
Big nuclear presence. I didn't have a problem. The only war we had was already started long ago, and that was ISIS. And I defeated them in a very short amount of time.
I remember.
Very quickly. And we had no wars under.
I know. This is why I said we're not going to watch
really
the whole thing, but I was like, Jack, the beginning is so funny.
And
because
we won't have wars again, but we can have a war before we even get there.
Up.
That's the problem. We have a number of months. We have 4 months, and the election's starting very soon. And I guess 5 months before you actually get in. And a lot of damage can be done in 5 months by incompetent people. We have very incompetent people right now. And I'm not saying that out of happiness. I'm saying that out of sadness, because our country's in tremendous danger, not only of stock market crashes or depressions.
How have they fucked it up this fucking bad?
Bro, while you're away, he literally pointed the other mic more towards Trump, and it was fine then, right?
And they changed it again and fucked it up?
It's got to be something like inside the like mic detection for the software. Like you can't. They have like 4 mics hooked up, and it can only detect a certain amount or something.
Yes, but
it's got to be an auto. Like because you know how like for example like Zoom, it will like put a box around the person who's talking, and they light up when they talk. You know, it's got to be some auto detection shit with the mics.
Yeah.
I know it very well, and Venezuela is right now.
He does move around a lot. Like he does do a lot of like this sort of when he talks.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just like, because that's a very directional microphone. Maybe that's what
Dictator,
it is.
We were enemies with Venezuela. Venezuela was going to collapse, and people.
See what I mean? See how it starts fucking up as he moves back?
They've gone back to Venezuela. They're in our country now.
See, look, just fucking hire me, Aiden, you fuckwit, and I'll be able to diagnose your fucking issues instantly. It's
like
not
there's
that hard.
nobody there with headphones on.
Insane.
Listening with headphones on. Like they don't have a producer there.
Yeah, where's the producer? You're interviewing Donald fucking Trump.
So like
Jesus,
Aiden had to think like, oh, I stream all the time. I can just set it up and it's gonna work. You know, like it's always good for me. You know,
fucking believable.
They've released tremendous numbers of criminals into our country. If you look at Caracas, it was known for being a very dangerous city, and now it's very safe. In fact, the next interview we'll do it in Caracas, Venezuela, because it's safer than many of our cities after they've released their criminals into all of our cities.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm kidding.
I know.
You know, the reason I have to say that because the fake news media knows that too, but they'll say, he suggested they go to Venezuela. You know, they are so bad, it's hard to believe. But anyway, so Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they've taken their criminal elements, which are large, it was a very dangerous place, especially Caracas and the different cities. And they've moved them into the United States of America. I know you're very happy. I know that your mother and father must be thrilled when they hear that.
Yeah.
Who happen to be here, I believe.
They are. They're right over there. Hey, mommy, dad.
Are you thrilled with what they're doing? I don't think so. No. I don't think they're thrilled. I don't think so. So their crime rate is down 72%.
Right.
Because they're drug dealers, they're criminals, they're murderers, they're rapists. Everything's being moved into the United States. And soon they will have moved all of their criminals into the U.S. They won't have crime. So that's why I say we'll go to Venezuela for our next interview. Okay. It's a very serious problem. I mean, honestly, what they're doing to this country, they're destroying our country, Aiden. They're destroying stupid people. He's not a smart man. He wasn't smart 35 years ago. He wasn't smart 20 years ago. And now he's really not smart. No. And you saw that from the debate. I mean, he's really gone down the tubes. And she couldn't even pass her law exam. She couldn't pass her bar exam. And I'm not saying that because I know other people didn't pass their bar exam, but she thought she'd never be able to pass it. And this is who we have running our country. It's a shame. She's ultra left, ultra radical. I just see where 99 vicious terrorists, when she was, I guess, Attorney General, because she was Attorney General of California, she destroyed California. Her policies have destroyed California. Her policies, when she was the district attorney, have destroyed San Francisco. San Francisco was the best city.
He is, because it's fresh in his mind.
Yeah. Like this whole interview is like a nothing interview. It's just the technical problems that were really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's the time code? How long has it been going?
13 minutes.
Yeah, so after about 10 minutes, they don't really have the mic problems after this. So I think the other one is like, we're going to play a game. And
okay, so
that's what I was going to.
Yes. This is, I didn't watch all of this. Mm-hmm. I just saw that he said Venezuela is safer than ours, which I got the context for now. What he's implying is that they deported all their crimes, so now it's safe there.
Yeah. Like, Venezuela, not currently under revolt because of election bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Safe. Yeah, people were... I don't know, have people died? I imagine that they probably have. In the recent protests?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Safe, huh? Only cops die in American protests.
Shout out to Nelk, but they kind of gave me this idea. I have 2 segments I want to do with you.
Okay.
The first one is use one word that comes to mind to describe that person. Okay? It's a fun game.
Fun.
Let's start. All right. Who is the first picture? And we got the Nelk boys. One word.
Great.
I love that. Okay,
Really
great. Okay.
So you're friends with them?
Yeah.
Are they competitors of yours, though?
Not even, honestly. You know, every time that I speak to Kyle or Steve,
Yeah,
it's just only love. They're really, really
no,
good.
they're just great.
Yeah.
But in a way, you would be competitors, but you don't.
They're more bigger on the YouTube side of things. I'm more live, so it's a lot. It's a different world, but it's kind of like parallel.
Look at them. I mean, they're just great people. That was Dana White. He said, "You got to do them." I said, "Who are they?" I didn't know.
That is
And
true.
after I
Dana
did,
White
it
did
was
set
like an
that up.
explosion.
Honestly,
All right, let's see what we got next here. We got
not an awful
me.
interview.
Yeah. Well, I can
I
just
don't
tell
know you.
that
I've only
one word.
I met you 30 minutes ago.
The Nelk Boys interview with Trump, not awful. Honestly. Out of all of the ones that I've seen Trump do sort of pop culture interviews and shit, not the worst.
Would be outstanding. My sons told me about you, and they told me about how big Dad. My Baron.
Yeah.
He said, "Dad, he's really big." I said, "Yeah, but what about else?" He said, "He's also a friend of mine, right?"
Yeah.
But big stuff, Aiden. So I just have to say, outstanding to do what you've done at a young age, and I know how old you are. You're young.
What has he done?
You're seriously young.
Made a lot
Seriously.
of money.
Seriously, what has he actually done?
Made a lot of
to
money.
Do anything, really?
That's all.
My suit
Made
is older
money.
than you are.
How old your suit?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he fucked that up so hard.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right, let's see who we got next. We got.
When did they announce this?
Patriot. I'm a patriot.
Joe Rogan.
Interesting. He really is. He's an amazing guy. He's a very interesting guy.
So we got next. Mr. White.
Oh, well, he's a fighter. I'll tell you, that guy, he fights. You wouldn't want to have him against you. A little bit true with all of these people that you show, and there's a good one. Elon, a genius, truly a genius. I see the rockets come down with the engines, and they're coming down. The engines.
Guess who had nothing to do with that? Elon Musk.
They're landing without any. They have no wings, no nothing. That was a couple of years ago. I said, "What is that?" And I said, "What was that all about?" He says, "Well, we want to be able to save the engines, not that they go into the ocean and all." But he really is. He's a genius. He's also a very good person, Elon.
Objectively untrue.
Got Kanye.
So he's very complicated. Let's say complicated.
Good dodge, Trump.
Nice guy, but he
Good
can get himself
dodge,
into
Trump.
trouble, and he can get some other people. But he's got a good heart. He does. But he's
Do you
complicated.
think if he said very fine person as like a joke, how mad do you think people
I
would
just
get?
love the complicated. Like he did not want to talk about Kanye West here.
No.
Kanye. Fake, but in all fairness, look, but she knows it. She's got a thing going. It's a good thing. She's a good thing for her. But there's a certain something she's got. She's got a spark. That's pretty amazing, actually. She's got a good spark.
Is that a compliment for AOC?
I'll change it. I'll say spark. She does have. She gets on. When she was running against a gentleman from Queens, and I asked his people. I said, "Are you careful? This guy was going to be Speaker of the House. It was going to be him, not Nancy Pelosi." And Joe, he is a
Fake. Fake is a crazy thing to say about AOC. Out of everybody in politics, I'd say she's likely the most genuine of them all.
Yeah, I think he has a crush. I agree.
good politician, a real pro, been around for a long time, many years in Congress. And I watched her on television one time. I saw a clip of her speaking, ranting, raving, going crazy.
True,
And
she
I
has
said,
been in there a hot minute.
Who's she
now.
running against? She's running against Joe. I said, oh, does he know what's going on? Oh, he's got no problem, sir. He's got no problem. I said, is he doing any debates? No, he doesn't have to bother with the debates. He's been there for years. I said, tell him I said that he should be careful because I saw her. And
Yeah,
I said,
so she beat an
she's
incumbent.
Evita. I called her Evita. Maybe that's the best. Evita Peron, right? I said, she's Evita. She's in the street screaming, shouting, going crazy, hugging people, hugging. Everybody's being hugged. I said, he better be careful. And she took him out. So, I give her credit, but she's got a lot of sizzle. Well, there's a powerful man. He's a powerful man. I know him very well. I know him probably better than anybody in this-
Trump would score so many points if he
that's
said
economics.
Winnie the Pooh or something like that. And then be like, they'll kill you if you call him that.
But I can call him that.
Extremely well. We had a great relationship until COVID. COVID was a step too far, but we did very well with China and President Xi. We did very, very well with China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars. No president took in 10 cents.
They're wrong?
And I exposed China. Look, I want China to do great. Okay, but they can't take advantage of us like they were doing for years and years. We'd lose $500 billion a year in trade, all of it. But then COVID came in.
So if the elections weren't rigged, the violence would not happen. I agree. Is that what we're debating?
And then it really, I changed, but I will have a very good relationship with him. There's no going to war with him. He doesn't want to go to war. We're not going to go to war. And we had a very good relationship, actually. He was right in this room. He came to this country and he stayed here for a number of days, as you remember. And we had incredible meetings, a very famous meeting in the dining room, actually. But he loves his country and he's very strong and very powerful and very interesting. But he really does love his country, I can tell you that.
Let's see who we got next on this list.
He stayed next to the
Having
document.
new scum.
How do you think Iran got the nuclear
you spelled his
secret,
last
He literally ruined California. Beautiful state. California is beautiful. He ruined it.
And when you watch him, he's always saying, "Oh, we're doing so great."
Right,
We're not
right.
doing great. I mean, I have holdings in California, and I own a golf course right on the ocean, right on the Pacific Ocean in Palos Verdes. So beautiful. It's a club. It's big, many acres, hundreds of acres, and it's fantastic. But California is so precious.
I mean, just the fact that, like, last minute, right? Literally what the people in America complain about over the last election, literally last minute, they're like, oh, by the way, we got 51%. Everything else is irrelevant.
One of the most beautiful places in the world.
It's just very funny. It's like, oh, magically, from behind, the person in government wins. Okay.
In terms of weather,
For sure.
in terms of everything.
Okay.
And they're just destroying it with crime. The crime is out of control. It's a very dangerous place. And he, I think it's a shame because I like him. I got along with him great. I helped him a lot with his fires. I kept saying, why don't you do something about the fire?
I don't think he loves his country. I think he loves
I don't
the
think he
idea
loves
of his country.
anything but himself. I think he would kill his own daughter if it meant that he
Yeah.
could solidify more power.
Yep. I think I just think he wants control. He will love whoever gives him control.
Forest fires.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have that. There's no management. They have no management control over the forests. I said, you have to do things. But I got along with him great, but he has not done the job.
No.
He has not done the job. Sad.
Got a few more. Let's see what we got next.
Yeah. He's turned very liberal.
Oh, this one's
Actually,
great.
They say he's the son of Fidel Castro.
Who's he talking
And
about? Take
could
a
be.
guess, Jack. You're
Anything's
not looking at
possible
the
in this
screen.
world, You're going to learn as you get older. You've seen a lot already for your age. Per age, I would say. Per year spent, you've seen as much as anybody. But Justin Trudeau is, I got along with him very well, actually. But he seems to be going very progressive, and the people of Canada are not liking it. I mean, if they had a good conservative person, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know. But somebody that's a strong conservative would win in Canada. Canada is very unhappy about the way they've been treated as people. But I got along with him well. Now, this man I really got along with well. We had
Who's he talking
Little
about,
Rocket
Jack?
Man. We had the red button. He said, I have a red button on my desk. And I said, no, I have a red button too. And mine's bigger than yours and mine works. And it was a really bad.
Except the red
and a
button
half.
on Trump's desk got him
very,
Diet
very
Cokes.
tough on President Obama, very tough on everybody. It's the hermit nation, and it really is. I mean, I said to him, do you know Elton John? No. I said, did you ever hear the song Rocket Man? And I actually played him the song Rocket Man. He said, no, I've never heard it. I said, you're Rocket Man. He said, no, you call me Little Rocket Man, not Rocket Man. But I tell you what, so we had a very nasty too much. People were actually worried about it because it could have been dangerous. But President Obama told me that this was the single biggest threat to the United States, was Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And one day I got a call from people that wanted to see me about him. and he wanted to
Strong
meet. He did not want to
conservative is
meet
an
with Obama. He did
oxymoron.
not want to meet with anybody.
That
Got
got an
tremendous
applause.
nuclear capability. He
Of
does.
course not. Of
Check
course
that
it did.
closely.
That's his
He does.
famous line.
I got to know
it's
him
the
very
big red
well,
button.
and I got along with him great. He's very smart. He's very strong. He's the absolute leader. You know, a lot of people say,
Bro,
"Oh, maybe he's
the
not the
fact
leader."
that
He's the
he
absolute. When
played
he's
him
around,
Rocket Man,
his
and he's
people
like,
are
"This is
standing
what
up
I
at
need when
attention.
I'm
I've never-
making fun of you. Now you understand how I made fun of you."
Fucking hysterical. Can you imagine the look on his face when that happened? The price I would pay to see a photo of that.
Well, my favorite
We were
is
at a luncheon. We had
the
20 people.
Office intro where it's like making it sound like nice and slim, and it cuts to Kim Jong Un, like making a confused face. Did you see Kim Jong Un's boat crashed?
Right.
In
No,
Singapore.
I didn't. When was that?
Like yesterday. It's hang on.
What the fuck?
It's very funny. It's like a little boat, like a river boat, like 3 people in a little boat.
The North Korean Navy.
We had a meeting. It's the biggest press conference.
No, it's
Thousands
something like storm
paparazzi.
relief,
I've never seen
propaganda
anything
or
like it.
something.
Yeah, okay.
But it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think people said they've never seen anything like it. I was
Oh my
walking in.
god!
He was walking in. We met in the middle. Remember? And
Yeah, of
the
I
course.
place just
found
went crazy.
something even
But we got
funnier
along very
than
well.
the
He's
boat.
very, very smart.
The first result,
and
I just
you know,
searched
he's a real
Kim
power.
Jong Un. Okay, the first result. Wait until you see this. Okay, what a story these 2 pictures tell. Right. So here he is in his car looking, and he's like, "Oh, I see people who need help. Don't worry, I'm gonna get on the boat and I'm gonna rescue them myself." Fucking, I hate that you changed it. Right? He's in a car in the flood. Right? And he's like, "Don't worry, concerned citizen. I'm here to save you personally." This guy does not look thrilled about being saved. Also,
He's like, "Fuck! I could have died."
Look, did you see they had to put 2 people on this side to balance out the boat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, his country is, you talk about location. I'm a real estate guy. He's right between, think of this, Russia, China, one side, and South Korea on the other. I said, "You have a great piece of real estate. You could make so much. You could have gorgeous things." I said to him, "Think about gorgeous condos going up in your shore." He's got a lot of ocean. He's got ocean frontage on both sides. Right? But I got along with him great. We would have had no problem with him. Now he's getting very angry with us, and he's getting very angry with, I understand he doesn't like her. He doesn't know her, but he forms opinions, and he doesn't like her. And he thought that Biden was a stupid man, a very stupid man. He would say that, but I say the same thing, so at least we agree on something. But Biden they really have hurt our country. These people have hurt our country. Kim Jong-un was great for as long as he was there. As long as I was there, there's going to be no problem, that I can tell you.
It's a little concerning how long he spends sucking the dick of dictators around the world.
Yeah.
We met in Singapore. I got to know him so well. And, you know, I always say that we have...
He got to know him so well. I guarantee every single one of them, once they left, was just saying in Korean, "Haha, that guy's a fucking moron." I fucking guarantee it.
Enemies from within.
출길들이 침수되는 피해를 입었습니다.
Execute that tree.
He even said it at the end.
출길들이
Make sure you
침수되는
kill that
피해를
tree.
입었습니다.
Maybe he was pointing to the driver who drove it into the tree.
Kill that guy. Shoot that guy. That's what he's saying.
Kill that guy.
Shoot that guy.
I guess an enemy, I think he would be.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why every dictator wants him to win. Because he'll let them do whatever the fuck they want to.
Absolutely fine. China, the same thing. I always say if you have a smart president, you don't have a problem with the outside. But you still will have a problem with the inside because these people are sick. They're sick. And the people from the inside, I mean, they're willing to take down our country. It's incredible. When I look at guys like Adam Schiff, he's such a bad guy, such a liar with the Russia hoax. It was a total hoax.
Oh my God.
It went on for 2.5 years and total exoneration, nothing to do with Russia. The opposite.
This is a great picture of the propaganda shoot.
Why?
Because he's such a heavy smoker. They literally brought his cigarettes and put them right
And ashtray.
Yeah.
And ashtray. Just ash in the water. What is happening?
I'm sure they brought him the ashtray because if his ashtray is not there, even if he was ashing in the water, if his ashtray's not there, they've been in trouble before, so it doesn't matter. They don't think.
Dead.
You know,
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
think. They just put it down because that's what they're, you know, so it got to be. I don't know.
The worst thing that ever happened to Russia, because I stopped the pipeline, the Russia pipeline. It's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. But, you know,
I blew it up, actually.
That is such an insane thing to say. Nobody heard of Nord Stream 2, the Russian pipeline literally constructed post 2014 invasion of Ukraine to divert gas around Ukraine to cut them out of profits. Nobody's heard of this? Okay.
It's just 2 years of this stuff. And actually putting our country in danger. Because you put your country in danger with another country.
So I know Fannie Willis has treated you very unfair. I have a friend who's currently being treated unfair by her. He's a rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I was just
I heard that actually.
Yeah, I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair. That's all.
So I've heard about him, and I heard he's being treated very unfairly by her. Yeah. And I would tell her she's got to treat these patriots that are being all terrible. They're going after him. And I hear Young Thug is being treated. I heard the name.
Yeah.
I heard it from other people where they say he's being treated very unfairly.
Very unfair.
So he's got to be treated fairly.
Please. So let's see we got a couple more people left.
Okay.
Got some, hopefully some good ones. Cool.
Wow, that was a heavy derailment for just
very
Kim
good with me
Jong-un,
because when they
wasn't
were
it?
doing the Russia hoax, they said I did something with him on a phone call, and basically I congratulated him on his winning the presidency.
Right.
And said some other things which turned out to be perfect, better than perfect. If he sees any corruption, please report it to the Attorney General of the United States, which we have an agreement with the country. We have actually a signed contract with them, a very important one, that because Ukraine has always been known as very corrupt. I don't know if you know that. It has been a very corrupt country. I think the people are great, but it's been very corrupt. And I said, if you find any corruption in the country, you should report it immediately to the Attorney General. I did say that. And it was a very good thing to say. It turned out I was 100% right in saying it. So they made up a phone call, but fortunately, the phone was essentially taped. The call was essentially taped. I didn't know this, but a lot of times when you're talking foreign leaders, they have tapes or they have stenographers. And we had two professional, really great military stenographers.
It's world leaders talking to each other. That shit needs to be written down so that they can keep track.
Well, you remember that
You would
that Reagan phone call? She's like, "Oh, I wouldn't even discuss this on the secret phone."
The secret phone.
So every word. So when they said I did these things, I said, no, I didn't. And then I said, was that taped or did they have the stenographers? The answer was yes. And they got all the way down the line to impeach me. They wanted to impeach me over this phone call, single phone call.
Comment.
And I knew that I had them because I had the tape or the stenographers, everything perfect. Every word was said. And then they did the impeachment. And just before that, because I remember Nancy Pelosi was crazy, we can't impeach him. Look at what the phone call was. She saw the phone call.
Yeah.
What did I mean?
And then they decided, well, let's do it anyway. Can you believe how bad these people are?
Horrible.
Let's do it anyway, because they had the phone call. That's where Tim Scott, a great guy from senator from South Carolina, he said, wait a minute, I've just read the phone call. That phone call was, he was the first one to speak up. Tim Scott of South Carolina. Then
and
Republican
you didn't pick him as a VP.
And they were great. I mean, there was great. Of course, the only one was Mitt Romney, real stiff, and he couldn't get elected dog catcher right now. But
where's that 1% gone?
And he actually voted. He actually only took a half a vote away, but everybody else voted for me 100%.
Like that dog catcher line goes hard. He couldn't get elected dog catcher. Like that's a fucking great insult.
Unanimous with the Republicans, and it was fine. But what they did was they made up a call, and then when they found out that I had it essentially on tape, they looked really bad, and they had a decision to make. Do they pull it? And she said, no, we shouldn't be doing this, but let's go ahead with it anyway. I did nothing wrong. So you have to be careful. So let me just say about him. So when they called him and they asked him, did President Trump say anything that was inappropriate or wrong? He said, absolutely not. It was a very nice phone call. There was nothing unusual about it at all. And he could have grandstanded.
Do you want some translation on what actually happened here?
He didn't say.
Yeah.
They knew that it wouldn't pass because the Republicans had a majority. When she said, we can't do it, she's saying it's not going to pass, right?
Yeah.
So he's able to slowly steer that into, she knew it was wrong and she did it anyway. right? And Pelosi almost never brought things to the floor she didn't have the votes, right?
Yeah, it was always, if it was guaranteed to pass, she would bring it. She's
Yeah.
very methodical.
So like that's what she's talking about. Then also, right? He's saying that fuck, go back. I forgot what he said. Because I'm also trying to retweet stuff.
So what they did was they made up a call, and then when they found out that I had it essentially on tape, they looked really bad, and they had a decision to make. Do they pull it? And she said, no, we shouldn't be doing this, but let's go ahead with it anyway. I did nothing wrong. So you have to be careful. So let me just say about him. So when they called him and they asked him,
okay, so
did
that I did
President
nothing
Trump say
wrong.
anything that was inappropriate?
That's not true. It's just that like they didn't, because of how the system works and the votes that they needed. It doesn't mean you didn't do anything wrong. It didn't move forward. The evidence was still there.
I don't know.
Also,
He
the
said,
second impeachment
absolutely
is worse.
Not. It was a very nice phone call. There was nothing unusual about it at all. And he could have grandstanded. He could have said, well, you know, and he didn't say that. So I respect him. I think that I will be able to make a deal with him and Vladimir Putin very quickly.
That's great.
Even though it would have been a lot easier before this war started, and you wouldn't have 500,000 people, or maybe much more than that.
My prediction that if Trump wins, the first thing that will happen is he will get kicked out of Ukraine or whatever negotiations it is. I think Zelensky will go off his fucking nut at Trump. I think we'll like right within 3 months, I see reports of Zelensky berating Trump at a negotiation because he's just like, just give him everything that they've taken. And I have a feeling that Zelensky would go as far as to hit him.
Well, I mean, I think they can form it around, you know, it's not theirs, it's ours. Like, weren't you treated unfairly when they took your golf courses?
I mean, sure, you
can appeal. That's how you appeal to him.
No.
You make it about golf courses.
I mean, that is a good way to go around it. And because he is a narcissist, it is kind of easy to navigate him. But at the same time, if he's being pushed by all the idiots behind him to give Russia whatever they want, I don't know. AUKUS is objectively fantastic for us, by the way. We not only do we get modern submarines, which we were already buying, right? We were already buying submarines. The submarines that we were buying were
Bisky.
diesel, French, and about 40 years old. The AUKUS deal, and this is what Friendly Geordies won't tell you because all he does is dick ride labor and suck down Chinese propaganda, is we bought not just submarines, but the manufacturing capabilities of creating more submarines. On top of that, we will have permanently deployable submarines, and it enhances our military capabilities phenomenally in the event that America doesn't become nice-ish to friendly people anymore. So if
Trump gets elected, you still have those submarines.
Yeah.
You still have the coordination with England.
That deal, so that deal is going ahead. On top of that, New Zealand, Japan, Philippines, I believe Vietnam have also signed on to AUKUS as some kind of partnership to it. So it's slowly becoming the Pacific's NATO against Chinese imperialism. That's why I'm not against it. This is a defensive posture, right? Because if China is going as far as to bully literal countries in the South China Sea, in their waters, why do they give a fuck about our sanctity? You know what I mean? What's to say China's not going to sail their signal warfare ships down to Australia and cut us off in the event that they decide to attack Taiwan? preemptively cut America off from us, right? What happens then? We just give in to China? You see what I mean? Like, this is like I've thought a lot about this, and purely the fact that we are buying the capabilities is reason enough to be for this. We aren't just buying shit from America like we did with the F-18s. This is more along the F-35 level of partnership. So if we're talking in like a state level, great deal. Great fucking deal. I'd have made that deal, right? You know a deal I wouldn't have made? Diesel French subs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wouldn't have made. There were also, I believe, talks to buy Indian nuclear submarines at the same time instead of the US ones, purely because of the interoperability of the US military and the British. We went with the US. That's what AUKUS is. AUKUS is nothing to worry about. AUKUS is, I guess, another defensive pact headed by the US based around China.
Cartel.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's really nothing to worry about. And if China stopped fucking around, AUKUS would probably dissolve.
What about the no plan
I
to
think
deal with the nuclear waste?
What nuclear waste?
From the subs?
Yeah, what nuclear waste?
The
It's a
one-
fuel rod every like 5 years. What nuclear waste? What are we talking about? I will.
But the
I
clams,
will
Jack, the
double
clams,
check that.
The clams in Soviet Union, Jack, near the nuclear port, big.
Nuclear waste from submarines. I could be way off on this. I'm just like,
Just flush it. You just
this
put it
includes
in the toilet and
radioactive
flush
waste. Yeah. I'm actually curious. I'll play.
I think you're going to find that the number of people dead.
Anyway,
is
what
far
I was
greater
going to
than what
say
they-
about the
That's a real.
submarines is that often there's this idea that Australia doing a standard naval upgrade that they were clearly due for, right?
Yeah.
Is somehow an arms escalation or an arms race in the region. China already has nuclear submarines, so where's the arms race? Like, Australia's not escalating anything. They're not going beyond what China has. China could still obliterate Australia. Like, where's the threat here? There isn't one. The only, like the just because they're nuclear and it expands a nuclear triad in the region.
Also, I did know this, but I just wanted to double check. Australia takes the world's nuclear waste.
Yeah,
So
you just dump it with all that blue asbestos, huh?
Like to
just dump it on the Aboriginals in the
like
outlands.
to say that Australia doesn't have a plan to deal with the nuclear waste is silly, because we've been taking nuclear power plant waste from international nuclear power plants for a hot minute now. Also, I'm gonna link a video.
But the clams
that you should watch about nuclear storage. And slowly realize that nuclear energy
I wish that nuclear scientist would fucking respond to us.
So annoying. Then hopefully you will slowly realize that nuclear power is actually not as bad as people try and make it out to be.
Well, these are nuclear weapons.
Sure. But you, considering you are Australian, you have probably heard of the narrative around the nuclear power plants being proposed by Queensland. I believe Peter Dutton put forward these nuclear plans. He wants to do modular nuclear power plants, which are about 4 times more expensive than regular plants, which is great. And then on top of that, you've got the Labor Party is now positioning themselves as firmly anti-nuclear power, which is fucking awful.
Dumb.
So now we've got
it's just
now it's so dumb. So now, and of course, and the best part about this narrative is people were literally saying that Gina Reinhart wants to build nuclear power plants. This bitch owns all the coal mines. Why would she want nuclear? Are you fucking dumb? Like, what is happening?
We have Jews.
See? That's fine. That's fine. Dutton's plan might be, right? But my whole point here is that this is a domestic information warfare tactic from Labour to permanently position themselves as anti-nuclear power in a country where we should be moving away from fossil fuels into as many resources as possible. Wind, solar, we don't have geothermal, I don't think, but we could easily do ocean.
Find out how to take poop and use that as fuel.
Yeah. We could use
how
salination.
come nobody figured out how to use poop as fuel yet?
Right, so
is that what biodiesel is? Poop fuel? It actually is
like
kind of
this whole, and because one of my biggest criticisms of Australia is that we've never done nuclear power, and we would be one of the most appropriate countries to do nuclear fucking power, but we don't. And now, in an event that we could actually get nuclear energy, it's being positioned by Labour and the Greens as a bad thing because the Liberals proposed it. Now I can't hold my opinion as pro-nuclear without being accused of being some liberal fuckwit, because Australians are that dumb that they don't realize that people can hold positions before their little team sports come and collect and segregate the positions, right? There is zero nuance in Australia's discussions of nuclear energy. So please watch that video.
Okay, so about the poop fuel, right? So
the poop fuel, yes.
I was trying to get you to go, how come nobody has decided to make fuel out of poop?
It wasn't happening. I was on my nuclear.
So anyway, this is solid waste. This is solid waste fuel, right? So it's not actually poop fuel, but it's just funny to say that because it's it's like solid waste. It's actually kind of cool, right? But like if you look at this, like this stuff, like this is fucking chinchilla food, like that's chinchilla food, okay? But see, these are made just from sunflowers, right? All this biofuel, right? These pellets that you can make. So it's like even like sunflowers, like you look at places like America, like we need to divest out of corn. We could put a ton into sunflowers to make this biofuel, right? Instead of like a corn-based ethanol.
Yeah.
And
that would be a way better way.
Well, it's also like, but the thing is that you can use waste. You can literally turn our shitty recycling program into solid waste fuel.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Look, Recycling Center is literally on here as one of the how to fucking move the waste. So
that makes sense. I'm actually curious. Why? Why no nuclear? Because I guarantee it's based in misinformation.
The only
and
thing that I would say that's a reasonable argument is that the single investment to nuclear means that you can't invest in other sectors. And it would be, if you want to invest in more sectors, then it might be better to go with a lot of the more less expensive stuff like wind and solar.
There was one video, I think, because I've been watching a lot about nuclear energy recently. The one thing that they don't tell you about nuclear power is the upfront cost is basically the entire cost. So like building it is the majority of the cost of operation of the nuclear power plant. Like, yes, okay. Yes, like that's actually a very interesting proposition. Nationalize it.
Yeah, that's a great reason as well. See, I was thinking too capitalistically.
Yeah. We're too state-brained on the show. But yeah, it's like that's a fair point. Nationalize it. Problem solved. But then that problem is now, oh well, the liberals are going to do it.
Just get
the
it from
Labour's gonna
Niger
do it.
like Saddam did.
Right? It just needs to
That was
happen.
a joke.
Like we just need to. I didn't even hear what you said.
I said just get it from Niger like Saddam did.
The yellow cake.
Okay, anyway.
But yeah, like the initial upfront cost of nuclear energy is the majority. So it's very interesting, but that's sure. But Gina Reinhardt is a billionaire already, right?
What if we just eat
she
the
will
rich people?
Every industrial area that props up, her money's going to be in it. So like, it's either deal with her or deal with her, right? There's
yeah. You know what I'm thinking? Yearly purge.
Right, because this is because I get the sentiment. I get the sentiment that it's like, oh, Gina Reinhardt, fuck her, right?
Yeah,
but she's exist, right?
Yeah, fuck her.
Her money is going to be in Australia's energy infrastructure and the government as long as it's allowed to be.
Hang on, have we thought about how Hassan feels about this?
The Western territory that is mainland China belongs to Taiwan.
But also nuclear science would give Australia an entirely new job market, essentially. Like nuclear science would prosper here, in my opinion. But this country is too backwards and regressive to actually realize.
We offer nuclear science at a fucking community college level here because we have a nuclear plant nearby.
See? Do you know how fucking cool it would have been to do nuclear science as a subject?
Yeah, I don't think it might be like nuclear engineering specifically or something like that. Like it might be more specific, but I think it might be a nuclear science degree. But a few people actually did it at the community college. Because you get 2 years and it's a fucking doctorate. You know how much money that is off your like doctorate to do 2 years of it in a community college, and it's like a small class size where it's like only 10 people are in your degree.
Oh, you would get so much information from that. You would learn so much.
Really nasty. It's a nasty thing.
I even thought about switching to it, right? Because it would just be smart.
Yes,
like it would just be. But I fucking hated school, so I wasn't about to fucking.
Rolling Stone wrote an article
for like.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?